Okay, tonight we're doing a dark angel. For Halloween, of course. I'm using the Mineral Touch foundation in the shade Chiffon, and I mixed a little cream BB cream in there to lighten it up a little bit. I'm using my angled foundation brush to blend that all in. I'm going to use my Mineral Touch concealer in the shade Organza to highlight my under eyes and conceal, and I'm using that same brush. This brush is great for blending in concealer. It gets into the corner of your eye because it is shaped on an angle. It's perfect, and it's a nice densely packed brush. Just setting that with a little powder. Okay. Next, we're going to contour. I'm using my Sculpting Trio in the shade Medium. Now, I'm using the darkest color in the contour palette to shade my cheek contour. I'm going to bring it all the way down to the corner of my mouth, which I don't normally do with a normal contour. I wanted a more dramatic effect with this contour, and I'm using a heavy hand. So I'm blending it in with the e.l.f. contour brush. Gonna do my temples, my hairline, the perimeter of my face, just to accentuate the highlight. Okay, my beachfront bronzer in the color Sunset, and I'm taking an angled Sonia Kashuk contour brush, and I'm just blending that in, deepening it up a little bit, setting my little contour. Alright, so now I'm going to nose contour. Disclaimer, this nose contour was horrible. I messed up quite a few times and my lines were not straight. It must have been a little bit too late to color inside the lines, but it got the job done. It took me a little while and a lot of blending. Going back in with my beachfront bronzer in Sunset, and I'm just setting that contour and blending it all in. There we go. That looks a little better. I'm using my Addiction palette for, oops, stuck my nail in it, the lightest shade in that palette to highlight the tops of my cheekbones. Make it even more light. Then I'm using my contour palette again, the middle shade right there, the cream highlight shade right in the middle of my nose, top of my Cupid's bow. Onto the eyes. Now I'm using palette 5, which is an all shimmer, beautiful colors. I am using the last 3 colors in the palette. I wanted a dark eye. I wanted a purple and black eye. So I went with the purple in the palette, but I ended up dipping my brush into the 2 pinks on either side of it. So I used mostly Fearless, which is the dark purple, and then I moved into Sarcastic and Victorious and just blended that in. So I'm bringing this fairly high up and I'm bringing it pretty dark. And winging it out to the edge of my eyebrow and bringing it all the way into the corner of my eye. As you can see, there's not much left before the eyebrow comes into play there. I really went in deep with this one. Blend, blend, blend. Blending is my cardio. Keep on blending. Okay. Here we are, black eyeliner. I used the pencil black eyeliner and I lined my lid. Now, I did this as a base. I want to use black shadow on my lids. I want a nice dark black smoky eye. So I used this to put down a base so I would have something for it to hold onto so it wouldn't move around. Putting a black or even any dark color on your lid is dangerous if you don't set a base down first. You don't want it to move around. You don't want it to fall. So I use this. I'm using a flat shader brush. Actually, I think this is a flat concealer brush to blend that out. In hindsight, I would probably have done one eye at a time. This is obviously sped up, and it took me a while to blend out that first eye, and blending out the second eye was hard. And I did a lot of pulling on that eyeball, which I did not really want to do. So I'm going in with palette 3. I'm using a flat Eco Tools brush, I believe. And I am just taking that color Irate and I am pressing it into the black liner that I set down as my base already. I'm not blending at this point. I'm just pressing it in there. It's pretty fast, so it might look like I'm moving my brush back and forth, but I'm not. I'm just pressing it in. So then I go back to my Luxie large tapered brush and I am blending more Victorious into that black to blend the 2 colors together. And doing the exact same thing on the other eye. I love this color Irate. I use this color a lot as a liquid liner. I just dip it in either a little bit of water or some rose water. It is perfect for that. And more blending with my Palette 5 Victorious just to get those two colors to merge together. Okay, moving on to the under eye, I'm using the same black pencil and I am lining my under eyes, my waterline, using the same black same flat Eco Tools brush, and I am smudging out the color Irate on the waterline and into my bottom lid. And then I'm going to use my big Luxie Fluffy brush and I'm going to blend out some more Victorious on my lower line, just smoking it out really, really good. We want a nice smoky eye for this. Moving on to everybody's favorite mascara. Now, since this is such a dark eye, you're not really going to be able to see it when you look straight on, especially in a video. But when I look down, you can see how much these 3D fiber lashes make my lashes full and long. Of course, I've got mascara all over the handle. I've got mascara all over everything. I'm a messy mascara applier. So I'm doing both eyes. I'm doing a couple coats of my transplant gel and then a couple coats of my fibers and then more transplant gel. Blending out Victorious back on the lower lid again and everywhere, just making sure everything's blended out. So I'm taking palette 1. I wanted a very dark, dramatic brow. So I took palette 1 in the color Forthright, which is the darker brown in the palette, and I'm using an angled brow brush just to fill in my brows and make them even more defined. And then I'll take the back of that brush, which has like a little flat brush on it, and I'll just blend that color in just like that. I just wanted a nice, thick, dark brow. Going in with a liquid liner, I'm going to draw little veins right under my eye. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some translucent powder and just press over them just to blend them in so they look like they're under my skin and not on my skin. There we go. And it's going to highlight me even more. I want that area to be very pale. Using that same black liner I used on my lids and waterline, I am lining my lips. I know, black liner, who would have thought? So I'm just going to line the outside of my lips. I'm going to overdraw slightly, and then I'm going to fill in just the center a little bit. I'm going to go in with my Splash liquid lipstick in the color Stoic, and I'm going to fill in the center of my lips with that color. Isn't that a beautiful color? It's like a rusty reddish brown. It's so pretty. I like mixing it with the black. I think it came out really pretty. And I'm going to take a lip brush and I'm just going to clean up the edges. Make sure I didn't make too big of a mess. Okay. And that is our finished look. Fallen Angel. Thanks for watching, guys.